Hey everyone, welcome back to the garden. Today we are going to talk about, you can see it behind me, one of our planned 2025 garden update projects. Finally got it started. We're by no means finished, but I'm going to show you what progress we have made and some of the stuff we've gotten transplanted, something I bought new to go in this bed, and how some things have changed just based on the size and the shape of the bed. So come garden with us today and let's check it out. So it's probably going to be tough to see. However, we have the bed finally marked out. I decided to go less curvy than initially I wanted because then it's too difficult to get up here with a riding mower. But I think we made it big enough to fit the Royal Raindrops crabapple. The Cupricina will get transplanted more towards the back there, just past their Durvilla. The Goshiki holly, which is being covered by their Durvilla, will probably come out a little bit. The Brunnera, the Hosta, anything that needs shade. The Eclipse hydrangea, Melamium will all come up here, more towards the back over here where the crabapple is going to be, because in time that crabapple will provide shade even earlier in the summer when this is in full sun. So my husband's going to get the weed whacker out and just scalp this. We'll cover it with a yard or so of topsoil, let that sit for a little bit, and then we'll get planting. Wow, that's a more gentle curve. So we just came back from the garden center where I work with 2 yards of soil. We'll probably need more, but that's all we could get into my neighbor's truck. This is what the bed looks like with all of the grass scalped to the ground and then turned over back into the bed so that it'll compost. The bed, you can see my husband did edge it, nice edge. So we're just going to get to spreading that soil and we'll see if we have time to get anything planted today. So we got all of the soil spread. It's quite thick. It's about 2.5 yards. We still have a bucket load we've stored for use in future projects if we need it. We're going to get the 2 Dandyman color wheel. I'm not really going to film it because, as you can hear, my neighbors across the way are having a party and it's very noisy. So we'll just show you things as they are finished. The one Dandyman is just not doing well. Cross your fingers that it survives. So these 2 purple buckets represent where we're going to put 2 more Let's Dance Skyview. And just so we could see, because I feel like it makes sense to have a drift of 5. And then the Goshiki holly is going to kind of go in between what will be 2 more here and this one here. So I think we got that centered properly. We have a lot of really fluffy soil here, but also still a lot of roots on the maples. So as you can see, here's the bed extension. It's been about a week. We got it finished. We did get some stuff planted. Obviously, the one rhododendron is not very happy. I didn't think it was going to make it anyway. Even this one has gone through a bit of shock. That one has been declining for ages. I might replace it. I'm not 100% sure. We moved the Goshiki holly out, and I think that's all we actually got done. So obviously the crabapple still has to come over. You can actually see the circle there. That's about where the crabapple is going to go. It's the royal raindrop. So the hosta will go under there. They will benefit from some shade. The 2 eclipse hydrangea will move over there because they will too benefit from some shade. They just tend to wilt in any sun whatsoever. I think we'll probably have to move this little sweet box. It did not like the wind that it got here last winter, but it did come back beautifully. So that will leave. Oh, and then I think these peach heuchera, there's 5 of them. One of them is being shaded out by their Dervilla. Those I think will move too, although they tend to do just fine. My experience with heuchera is that these peachy colored ones, even blooming again, whether they're peachy or corally, they just tend to be more colorful when they do get some sun, but I do feel like they will just be better over there. They haven't burned at all in the heat this summer. I just feel like we do need the space here for what is now going to change. So once the eclipse hydrangea come out and the hosta, we'll have plenty of room here for what I bought. Oh, and then there's a Brunnera there too, I forgot, and it looks like it could use some water. That will benefit greatly from being moved over to that side too, so that it can get some shade. The 3 Castle Spire holly, I think I've talked to you a little bit about this before. They've been a complete disappointment. Now, it's not 100% their fault. This bed has a very challenging condition. It is shot through with maple roots, even though all 3 of the maples are gone. But you'll see in the clip where we were creating this bed and digging holes for planting, just how many roots are still left in this bed. And even though we've run irrigation, it just tends to be really, really dry. I mean, you can see the irrigation line there. And something else we found this year, another reason, not just the shade and the dry conditions from the maples, but we found that squirrels were just jumping up into the branches of these hollies and just like picking branches off. We would come up here and find leaves all over, branches just completely broken off. So it's no wonder that they really have not put any growth on since they've been here in 2023 is when we planted them. I moved up on my deck to talk more about that because it's just way too hot and sunny right now. So I feel like I want to move up the 3 Castle Spires closer to the middle of that bed. I think, again, once we get everything else transplanted out of there, we'll see. I don't know if there's room for all 3 of them and their mature size, but they're taking so long to grow. I don't know that I need to worry about that anyway. And I'll show you, I have a design in my design software for the change. Part of the reason why we extended this bed in the first place and had the 2 maples taken down is because we want to create, well, first of all, the bed was too small. It just never fit the scale of our yard. It was not really a good proportioned bed because when we created the original bed, which was an oval, we still had 2 maples and we just couldn't get it as big as we wanted to. So the end result was, several years on, we decided, okay, the 2 maples have to go because the bed needs to be bigger proportionally to everything else in our yard. So now I feel like we have the perfect proportion. And secondly, because we want a screen there. Now, not like a complete and total tight evergreen screen. It's probably going to be more of a mixed border. So, it curves around, gives us that screen that we want, at least down to the edge of the bed. And then some of that screening will just be a little bit farther back from the edge of the bed and in the grass. This way, with this bed extended, we don't have to do as much of that. There's not a lot of room between the edge of the property line and the edge of this bed. So whatever we decide to put in the grass, it'll probably be like literally 3 or 4 American Pillar arborvitaes because they stay narrow, but they form a tight evergreen screen and they're fast growing. up to the edge of the bed. So there'll be a path between them and the edge of this bed in the grass. And then this bed will create there's our screen, the rest of the screen going up. So my feeling is replace the hollies with more American pillars. My husband doesn't think we have room for them because I do think they can get a little bit wider than what is stated in their growing stats. I feel like I'm not too worried about that. I just like them better. He wants to do more the Thin Man. I feel like I have found some pictures of mature Thin Man online. And to me, they just look like emerald green arborvitae, which I do not like at all. So I don't know that I want that look for here. We'll fight that out between ourselves, but it's going to be something like that. And then the Castle Spire holly in front will form mid-level of that screen. So I'll show you the plan. I'll show you the plant that I bought. It's really beautiful. I got it at work on sale. Okay, guys, here's the plant that I bought home from the garden center. And no, it is not a hydrangea. Might look like one, but it is a Steady Eddie Viburnum. I had the garden center bring these in this year, not just for me, although a little bit for me. I had them bring 5 in. Usually they buy Summer Snowflake, but Steady Eddie Viburnum stays more compact for people who have compact yards. And they are more profuse bloomers, and they have the beautiful lace cap flowers. I love anything that has lace cap flowers. And I have been in love with these plants since I first saw Proven Winners come out with them. I think it's been a minute, a couple years anyway. Again, I had the garden center bring these in the spring. We sold 3 out of the 5. We had 2 left. This is the nicest looking of the 2. And I thought, well, we're having a shrub sale, so I better buy it before somebody else snaps it up. Got it for a great price. We have a 25% off sale going on right now. So this is what is going to go up to replace the Eclipse Hydrangea in that space under the Summers Tower Redbud. I'm just trying to get the tag out of here for you guys. Okay, finally managed to get this unattached. So here it is, Steady Eddie Viburnum. You can see those beautiful lace cap flowers again. And it is a smaller viburnum. It is sun to part shade. You can see that, 4 to 5 feet tall and wide. Hardy down to zone, where are we? Hardy in zones 5 through 8. It's an improved summer snowflake, like I said, with more flowers in the spring and the ability to rebloom throughout summer. More flowers means more to enjoy. So that is what is going to go in the place of the Eclipse Hydrangea, and I'm really excited about this one. Okay, so here's the new plan with the bed extension, and most of the plants you see are here are the ones that need to be transplanted. For example, the heuchera, hosta, lamium, the Eclipse Hydrangea in the back. Here is the flowering crabapple, the royal raindrops. I feel like maybe we'll move the castle wall holly over here, he's the pollinator for the castle spire. We have a laced up elderberry we transplanted out of this bed last year. It's in a container. Maybe we'll put that back up here. It's a narrow growing elderberry, so it's not going to take up a lot of room. We'll see. It's just never really performed well for us. Here is the one rhododendron, and then you can see behind, there's no Cuprocina in this software, so that's what that represents. And then you can see where I have placed the American pillar, how I've moved the castle spire up. I didn't get the very edge of this bed in this picture, so right about here is where the Summers Tower Redbud is. Here's the Steady Eddie Viburnum, the 3 Let's Stand Skyview. I feel like we need 2 more just to form a little bit of a hedge and something along the edge here, just to carry that drift up. Here's the Goshiki, and we do have 5 Blonde Ambition grass. So that would bring a little bit of a blue element into here, because other than the hostas, I don't think we have blue. Our Let's Stand Skyview, or they're pink. They're just not blue. Here's the Steady Eddie. Did I say that? So this, you just get an idea of what this is now going to look like. I tried to make the royal raindrops crabapple as big as I could, because it is a big crabapple, and it is going to provide a lot of shade to this side of the bed. Even though in the summer the sun will be coming from this direction, a lot of the shade will be thrown back here on the grass, but it will still provide shade here. I feel like There's plenty of room in this bed. We're not putting a ton of stuff in here. It's mostly just spreading some stuff out. I feel like we have room. And I kind of like, now this, I feel like I can make the rhododendron a little bit bigger. These Dandyman Color Wheel, I think they're like a 6x6. So, you know, it will get big enough to kind of block this view. Now this is our property back here. I don't necessarily want to block the view, but I do want to block this view behind here. And the Cuprocina in time, along with the American Pillar, will just touch. So they will block what's back here, because this is a swing. My neighbors, this is the neighbor 2 doors down. They like to have fires up here. They have a fire pit, and when they sit up here at night, they can see right into our family room. And I don't like having my blinds closed. I like my house to be open. So, you know, I don't necessarily want to be watching TV at night and have people be able to look right in. The Rose of Sharon hedge that we have down by our dry creek bed does provide a little bit of privacy there. And in time, I feel like our sugar and spice arborvitae that are down there on our mini berm that comes off our bottom retaining wall, in time, those will grow up to provide some privacy as well. But I haven't planted anything tightly on my property other than inside our fence, because I don't want to just see one wall of green. So I feel like layered privacy is what I'm looking for in my yard. And then again, you can't see it down here, but you know, you can go back and look at my original video, or over the winter I did a plan for here, and you can see just past this there still is some grass where I feel like we'll have to plant some American Pillars there just to continue the privacy past this bed. So that's my hope, that this is what it's going to look like once everything is planted and transplanted. I just wanted to share that update with you. Again, my husband and I will just fight it out over which kind of columnar evergreen we plant here. I'm done with junipers, because every juniper we've planted on our property we've had problems with. So I feel like, I mean, this is another video, but I feel like we're going to lose both of our blue hour junipers around our patio. Our Spartan juniper, we had to cut half of it out. And so I'm just done with junipers. They have too many problems in high heat and humidity areas like ours, whereas I don't experience any problem with any of the arborvitae we've planted on our property. So I feel like that's what's going to be planted here. So I just wanted to share this update with you. We'll show more of the bed once we get things sorted and transplanted. So I hope you like it. Let me know what you think. Give the video a thumbs up if you're excited about this. I am. And thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Bye.